Hello and welcome to your Wednesday advanced training call. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. And before we bring on our guest speaker for today, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of USANA or the comp plan or your upline. Success or failure is up to you. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent leader and example for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends, do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to develop a solid, 1 year to just become competent, okay? 1 year to just become competent at the skills. You can still make money, but it's going to take a year just to get good at the stuff. Number three, 3 years to develop a significant part-time income, 5 years to develop a significant full-time income, and 7 years to become world-class. It's going to take time. It can happen faster, but it will still take time. Number six, it takes consistent work and hustle. You have got to be consistent doing this just like you would at a job. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone. Number eight, you're going to, mental toughness is necessary for sure. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. The grass is greener where you water it. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 28 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's given me and my wife a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people around the world because it works if you work. And bonus tip, amateurs sell products, professionals sell the vision. Make sure you're inviting your clients to these webinars. Make sure you're inviting your existing associates to these webinars and help them see that USANA is so much more than a great product. It's a great income opportunity. It's a great personal growth vehicle. It's a great community. It's a great tax shelter. And if you are doing it as well as Patti Ruiz, who just earned the Future Leaders Summit trip. Patti, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jared. Thank you very much.
We are so excited to hear your story. I know that you were my salsa dance partner, I guess was it like 2011, something like that?
Yeah, 2011.
Mm-hmm. We were dancing, we were doing all types of salsa events, and then you eventually learned about like one USANA product. I'm not gonna give that away because I'll let you share that in the story. But that led to like what now is a very successful part-time business. And, for people who are watching at home, Patti's an achiever with USANA, and she's always been into the culture of USANA. She's always been on the webinars, but she's had her ups and downs throughout these last 5 years. But I mean, she's really on a big momentum curve, earning the Future Leaders Trip, really building a solid part-time income with your USANA business. So we want to know, like, what your, I guess, first of all, like, what was your life like before USANA? Like, what was your health like? What were you saving any taxes? Did you have a community of friends like you do now? And then like, talk about that transition of like starting your business. I know you grew quickly at the very beginning, and then you took like basically a couple years off in a way of building, but you were still involved, right? Like, what was that like for that time? And then now, like, you got re-engaged, you recently got married, well, a couple years ago now, but like, you're in this awesome phase of your life. And so we kind of want to know like your timeline, and you have about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions. But take it away, Patti.
Thank you, Jared. Yes. Let's see what I can do in 20 minutes.
I
know. Like Jared mentioned, we met at a dance team, and we were partners, and we had an awesome time. We traveled a lot, and I wasn't really taking any supplements really, but the funny thing is I grew up taking vitamins. And they were actually really good vitamins, because I remember one of the pretty committees in the Sipman Scrub mentioned that, vitamins, the really good ones, are you going to taste the minerals? And I remember that taste growing up. So I actually was in a search for vitamins pretty much my whole life. I've tried many products. So when I met Jared, we traveled together, like I mentioned, and I would see him all the time with his supplements and bags of shakes and all that. And it did bring curiosity. And one time I was talking to him, and he was also my dance partner. So we had a close relationship. We'd always go to practice together. Like over time, we just built that relationship and trust. And so one time I told him I've been having trouble sleeping, and not because I can't sleep. It's because after practice, it just jolted my system so much that I couldn't fall asleep. I was so hyped up. And so he introduced me to Pure Rest, and we went to lunch, and he actually introduced the business to me at that time. And at the time, I suppose I wasn't ready, and I wanted to try the product first. And so that's what happened. And I said, well, let me give this a try. I've tried many products out there, and I was actually a little bit in disbelief. So I was like, let me try this first and see what it does for me. And actually, I was taking Tylenol PM. So that was not good for me. He explained, how that could damage my body. And I did agree with him, and it did resonate within me at a certain level. And I didn't understand that level yet until later. And so I'm like, okay, let me give it a try. Well, I actually, it took a while to get the product, like a week. And then when I got it, I decided to use it after practice. And I was truly amazed at how that product performed for me. It helped me to go to sleep and wind down and relax. And then the next day I had energy to get up. I was astonished. And after that, I was like, well, Jared, we still had practice, and I told him about it. And I said, I felt really amazed. And so he was like, yeah, he's like, I'd like to introduce you to other products, and maybe you might be interested. So he did my assessment, my health assessment, and he recommended a couple of things. And I was actually dealing with allergies and a little bit of joint issues. So he referred me to the Dr. Lad protocol for allergies and for joint. And I wasn't in the business yet, but he told me about it. And so I was like, well, yeah, I definitely would like to try that. So that was the next set of products I took. And I felt amazing results with that. So going forward, that was about 2014. Well, then like in 2015, he was introducing me to all these webinars and learning about the business. And he introduced me to Danny Johnson. So Danny Johnson is where we learned more about network marketing. What was that about? How it could help with an extra income and multiple streams of income. And that's something that I didn't learn before USANA and going to these webinars. And I also learned that a woman that started with nothing was able to build her tremendous business that has been paying her, year after year after year. And I thought to myself, if this woman can do it, I can do it. But she also started talking about war on debt. And at the time I had debt. I had 12 credit cards, and I had some medical bills that I needed to pay. So it just drew me in even more. And I learned about war on debt. And I also was learning Financial Peace University from church, where I was learning God's principles as well. So it just totally was coming into alignment for me. And so Jared approached me again with the business after Danny Johnson's webinar, and it just really made sense. It was a business sense, a really great opportunity to increase that wealth building, that removing of debt, and to actually have that time and freedom that I truly wanted. And so I went in with a full package, the top package to get in at the time, and I went all full force. And as Jared mentioned, I actually, started my business right away, and we had parties at home. And so we didn't have these virtual online parties. That just didn't happen. It was more in person, come over to my house or go to some place where we can have these parties. Well, they came to my house, we did the business presentation, we showed them our products, and I actually enrolled, I believe, 18 people that week. And I became #1 in the United States in all of USANA, United States. And I thought that was just so awesome. Jared has been so encouraging and gracious that he took me to my favorite restaurant. Was a Brazilian steakhouse where we just celebrated that achievement. And I just kept learning, more and more from this business. Every step of the way, I started to get rid of some medical bills first, and then I started on my credit cards, and it just started to this momentum started happening. And I also learned in that year of 2015 and 2016, I started going to, and I believe it was called Inspire You, Jared. And In those seminars, I learned even more about the business and learning from top leaders like Brian Penrod and Monica Penrod and some others. And I learned one that to have this type of business is also not only good for your health, but it's also a multiple stream of income. But that's when I learned about the tax breaks that you can have by having a home-based business. They showed us, at the time I was still single, and so they showed us both as a single income earner being on an online business and how much you can get back from your tax breaks, and also as a married person. So I just saw this tremendous opportunity for that wealth building that I wanted to have. And I was still dealing with credit cards. And I thought, great, this is an opportunity to rank up that wealth to be able to pay off more debt. It's just going to help me to keep going. Not only is it helping me with my health, I'm helping others with their health and also bringing down my debt so I can start that wealth building. So it was just learning from them. I got inspired every time I went to these webinars, and I learned the most at that Inspire You also. That would be the next webinar that I thought was inspiring. Then in 2016, I had a rotator cuff tear, and at the same time, I was going through meeting my future husband. And in these Inspire You, we did learn about vision boards. And Jared encouraged me to create a vision board for my business and also for my life partner. And I thought, this is really great. It was totally different for me. I had never heard of vision boards before. I knew about prayer and praying for what I want and desire, so I had that. But I didn't know the other piece and to visualize it and see it. And Jared helped me to create or start it. So I did do that. I started it, I believe, in 2015. And then in 2016, I met my husband in February. So it was very quick. Like it happened very quick. I remember it was just like fall and I met him in the spring. And I started meeting several versions of my husband, but they weren't quite yet. So I would have to tweak my vision board. And even Jared mentioned, tweak your vision board. You sound like you're meeting the right types of guys, but you just need to tweak it and add exactly what you're missing or to adjust. And so Jared has been super supportive throughout my whole business career and helping me as that mentor and my friend. And so he even helped me to get the vision board correct. And at the same time, I did take a pause on my business just to focus on that, but I still kept my business open and kept my business centers open, meaning I was still on the product. I had great benefits from the product. I wasn't about to stop. It was just something like, it's a pause for now, and I'll continue later at the right time. And because I kept that business open, I was able to continue to take advantage of the tax breaks. And when my husband and I decided to get married in June, I had already started saving for, from all the tax building that I was doing with the refunds and also paying off debt that I was able, when we got married in 2017, I was able to basically cash flow our whole wedding with part of USANA's wealth building, the income that I would get from my business centers, and then also what we did with savings. So that was a really awesome, eye-opening experience where I wanted to learn more. And the third, I would say, most inspiring that has happened as far as webinars was actually going to convention. Convention really opened my eyes to how huge this company is, and then also the community and the people and the mindset of everyone that goes there to convention. The education that we get on all the products, the amazing testimonies of extraordinary health. And I just my whole being of who I am just loves the whole idea of having this extraordinary health and being able to heal your body, because your bodies are supposed to heal when you give it the right ingredients. So that just expanded more my belief of the product. And then learning from these mentors that would come and train us, like Gary Vee. It just opened up my mind more to finding what is stopping me from building my business. And actually this year I found out that the reason why I would stop and start my businesses is because I had a limiting belief that this type of business was not for me, and I couldn't do it. That was completely wrong. This type of business is a way to receive another stream of income, but it's also for growth. As Jared said, I've been through so many personal growths that each time I would grow or break through, or I was about to break through to something, I actually broke out in hives. And I didn't understand why, but now I do. It was just my whole, my body, my energies just resisting that change. And my body would, I'd break out in hives, but I'd still break through it. And it's because of all of the community in this team, the mentors that I've learned from, all of the training. Something inside me just said, keep going, keep going. This year, I started meditation, prayer in the morning before I started my day, and waking up early. That was also something that limited me, as I would always wake up late because I learned it as a child, learning it from my parents, that being late was something that was okay. And we wouldn't have that routine in the morning. It was just like, go get dressed, run out the door. And I always felt rushed, stressed. And when I decided to make that decision, I found that this limiting belief is not the only thing that was limiting me. It was also limiting me in taking in the business. And so all of that I learned by just, continuing to just pray, meditate, understanding why and question it. Why am I not growing my business? When I started these meditations and having this morning routine, I started creating my vision board again in February. And I did it now for my business. I really made more intention on the business and also on personal goals that I want to reach. And so when I did that, I kept that, I want to be able to help others and help myself. It's going to be a win-win for them and for me and others that will be helping. And there was a scripture that came up that would come to me, and it was like, let me see if I have it here. It is John 1:2. It's like, beloved, I pray that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So it's what God intended me to be, is to be prosperous and to help others to be prosperous and be in health, and also building that wellness communication with being with a higher power, which for me is my God. So that, with doing, actions for the business, I figured out what was holding me back, and I started to continue to pray for that breakthrough. And then I was able to enroll my first amazing associate, Jelena. And she came in. She was actually someone I prayed for, the type of person I was looking for, someone like me, but better in certain ways. It was actually also kind of like my mom, but better, because my mom is in love with the products. Jelena is in love with the products, but she also has this tremendous heart as well as my mom. And she has like all of these friends that she's able to talk to, and she's built up over the years. Just like me, I'm able to make many friends very easily. And I just have these really warm connections with everyone that I meet. So she's very much like me and very much for what I was praying for. So little by little, I've been able to push through these limiting beliefs that I figured out this year. And it's still a struggle for me, but I'm still able to learn from everyone in this community. And it's just, I'm grateful for everyone's input, talks, encouragement, and just all the people that are leaders that are helping me along my path. It's just been a great experience.
I love it. Oh my God. I got so much from your journey. It's interesting to see like the little phases you went through over the years, right? Like there was the starting phase, there was the before USANA phase, there was the um, looking for a life partner phase where you weren't working, but you're still on auto order. I think that's one of the things that like is great for everyone to hear is like, if you're in one of those phases, but you're still coming to the webinars, you're still on your auto order, that's really good, you know, and that is kind of what sustained you, right, for this next growth
Right.
that you've had. And then also like, you know, you finding Jelena and having Jelena grow, like that was like you signed up quite a few associates that weren't like Jelena first, right? So it wasn't like
Exactly.
you just found like one great person. You grew,
No.
you served a lot of people, and those people still benefited from the products too. So
Mhm.
it's just awesome though to see this evolution that you're still on and continuing to grow. And we actually have a lot of people watching on Facebook Live. Hello, Facebook Livers, and our Zoom people. Your mom's on Facebook Live, by the way, so say hi to her. Um, but
Hey, Mom.
So we're going to open it up for questions. If you are on Facebook Live, type your question in for Patti. I will ask it right now. If you're on Zoom, type your question in, and I will ask the question from the chat on Zoom. So we're going to open it up for questions. Ah, a lot of people are on Facebook Live. Cool. All right. So I'm going to start. First question is, what is like, talk about that period of time where you weren't working it, but you were still plugging into the systems. Like, how did that get you through that period?
So I was still on the product because I was going through some, I guess, personal medical things that I was going through. And so being on the product was just something that just automatically was something I needed to do. And it was helping me to heal in certain areas of my health. And so I would still participate in the webinars and still listen in. And I wasn't aggressively, I guess, or consistently working the business, but I would still talk to people as I, here and there about how the products have been helping me. And I think that those stories help me enroll a few people in the interim. So I was still doing some business, but not as consistent. So that's what helped me is just being able to experience the products and the amazing results that I got, and then sharing it with other people as I could.
So you were still sharing the products and USANA with people, but it was just kind of like when you could, as opposed to like having a regimented, I'm going to do this more like a business thing, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I remember you still would bring people from time to time. And
Yes.
what was the main shift? Like, when did it shift for you?
I want to say the shift came with convention. Um, it also came when I was able to cash flow my entire wedding.
Mhm.
Um, being a part of this business, and I said, this is something that I needed to do. But then, I couldn't understand why it was kind of an up and down for me.
Mhm.
And that's when this year I realized that it was that limiting belief that I had that this type of business wasn't for me. And I learned it at a very young age.
Yeah, can you talk about that? Because I know you watched your dad being self-employed and what he went through growing up, and that's where that belief was formed. How did, number one, like, can you share that experience? But number two, how did you figure this out?
Okay, so growing up, my dad, he was an electrician and he repaired TVs. And he just, I don't remember exact details, but I remember him saying that this type of work wasn't for me, that the type of work that was for me is attaining a degree and going to college, getting a career where I would be able to buy a car every year if I wanted to. I'd have a maid to clean my house. Like I'd have that tremendous abundance going this path rather than doing a business because he struggled. We had everything we needed, but it felt like it was a struggle for him, and it was something that he chose not to do. So he ensured that I shouldn't do this in the
Mm,
future.
okay.
That it requires special skills, and well, I don't have it. So that means maybe you're not going to have it. So it's better to get these skills somewhere else.
But he like told you this, like it wasn't like
Mhm.
a subconscious. It was like a sit down talk or something like.
It was a sit down talk all the time. College is for you. This is not for you.
Wow. So it
It's
was
just
really
serious.
embedded, and this is your dad. This is like, like God to a child, right? Like, or whatever. And you hear this and you just accept it in your
Yeah.
heart, right? So how did you like figure out that what was happening and then also somehow forgive it, release it? Like, where was that?
Right. So, like as I mentioned, this year I started doing a prayer and meditation very early in the morning, and I just started praying like, why is it that I struggle with this business? I wanted to have that abundance in my life more than what I've been receiving from my current job. And that this is an avenue where a stream of income can come in so I can reach these goals and these goals that the Lord put in my heart. So I just started walking and just exercising in the morning, and I started talking with my husband about it, and it just came to me that why is it that I can't do it? And the answer came to me with just thinking and learning about what happened from the past. Why is a business not a good thing for me? And I was like, where did I learn that? Well, it started with me not being able to wake up early. I learned that from my dad. Since he was self-employed, he didn't wake up whenever he wanted. He didn't have to be at a certain place at a certain time, which is that time and freedom, right?
Mhm,
But I didn't understand it at that time like that.
mhm.
Um, but it was just something that I decided to change. And I thought, where did I learn that from my dad? And I said, what else did I learn? So it just kept that, that prayer meditation kept me to keep digging deeper. And
Okay.
that's when I figured it out. I learned it from my dad. And
So
so after that, I'm like, okay, I recognized it, I understand it, and now I need to receive like the messages that I need to help move forward to repair it.
yeah, wow. So what I'm hearing you say is like that morning meditation and prayer time that you carved out really makes a difference or had made a difference for you. And so
Yes.
thank you for sharing that, because I actually also do that. I wake up and before I look at my phone, I meditate for 5 minutes. I say my prayers. It's maybe like a 10-minute, 15-minute thing, right? But like
Mhm.
makes all the difference, that quiet time. And this is a big tip for everybody listening, that we all have alpha brainwaves and beta brainwaves. When you wake up in the morning, you're in alpha state, and that's when all the intuitive ideas and things come. And beta is the to-do list. And when you look at your phone and you say, oh my God, who messaged me on Facebook? Oh, who emailed me? Who sent me a text? Who sent me an Instagram? Now you're in beta mode, and you lose the alpha brainwaves. You only have alpha brainwaves like in the morning, and then you're in beta the rest of the day. So Patti, kudos to you on cultivating that alpha brainwave state. Do you wake up to your cell phone, or do you have a different alarm when you wake up?
It is my cell phone, but I have it kind of far, so
Oh,
I have to get up.
but you don't look at your cell phone first thing. You
No, not
turn it
at
off
all.
when you go to
I turn it off, and then I don't even look at it until after I've done the meditation, stretching in the morning,
bed.
prayer. Then I look
And
at
you
it.
look at your
Yeah.
phone. Perfect. So that's a big tip to all of you wanting to kind of create that mental space, maybe time to be with God, time to be with your creator or the universe or however you want to put it, but like being centered for a little period of time and take advantage of that wonderful alpha brainwave state that we have. So thank you for sharing that. We have a question. I guess we're out of time. Can you believe 30 minutes has gone by? So I guess our last question. I see people. Kanush Mockberry is watching from San Diego. She says, "Wow, such a breakthrough." Priscilla
Thank you.
Escobedo, your mom, says, "Well done, daughter." They're
Thank you.
all here on Facebook. Okay. Adriana Perez asks, "Were you tempted to quit at any point, and why did you stay? Like, what was your why?" Great question, Adriana. Thank you.
Thank you, Adriana. Yeah, I think I even talked to Adriana about considering quitting, but
Mhm.
I didn't understand where it was coming from. And Now this year I figured it out, as I just mentioned.
Mhm.
Um, a part of me did not want to quit because one was feeling the results of the product. And not only that, people that I introduced were also feeling results of that product. So I thought there's something here. There's something special about this product. And so I said, I have to continue. Like a part of me is like, this is something I'm not going to stop. This is something that is very good for me and very good for others. The second thing was I thought about the tremendous tax breaks that we have by having a home-based business. And then also realizing that this business is more not, it's not a job, it's more of activities where it helps your mind move from job, my career, my job into task based to being more consistent, which is something that I've always wanted to be internally. And a part of me just pushed that away because of a belief I thought that I created, and it wasn't me. I've always been doing businesses because USANA wasn't my first business. I did other businesses, like maybe four others. And so, but once I found that something I was more passionate about, which is health, it's just resonated with me. It's like this is me, whether I feel like quitting or not. And I thought I just have to keep going because this is a good thing. Something inside me just said that.
That's so good. Thank you for sharing. That is, you talk about like knowing how good the product is, and you're going to be doing it probably regardless of building the business, and then the tax write-offs. I know we're over time, but can you just share how much each year did you get back in your tax return? Um, roughly, kind of quickly, but can you share that on tax savings?
Sure. The first year, I think I realized an extra 1,000. Um, and then the following year was like 2,000. And then it was just kind of like 2,000, an extra 2,000. And then it went up to 3,000. And then this past year, it was up to 4,000 because I was working more of the business, being more active. And so, yeah, it's
So a
been
four
pretty
thousand
amazing.
dollar extra. In other words, you didn't have to pay Uncle Sam $4,000. You got extra 4 grand back than what you normally get back. I'm sure you already
Yeah.
get stuff back, right? So
Yeah.
like what would you normally get back on a given year before USANA?
Normally it was about 1,500 to 2,000.
Okay, so let's say you got 1,500 back. Now you're getting 4,500 back because you're able to write off your cell phone, you're able to write off your products, you're able to write off your trip to a convention, you're able to write off even when you go visit someone and talk about USANA in another state, or
Yep.
you what write off your internet. So dude, that's some major extra money.
It's
Uh,
major. Yeah.
that is freaking awesome. And I know you use TurboTax for self-employed. You do not use
Yes.
an accountant, right? So that's a
No.
big thing for y'all watching who have a job. Use TurboTax for self-employed because it's just as good and you get to be in control. Sometimes the accountant is not educated on the home-based business industry, and the accountant gives people bad advice. I've seen that. And thank you, Patty, for being the one who taught me that. Because I was sending people to accountants and like, no, no more. So thank you for that, Patty. Well, this has
You're
been an
welcome.
enlightening interview. I just want to, first of all, thank you for being a best friend. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. It's so wonderful to see like all the things you've done with your USANA business, the person you've become, and just the contributions that you're making into people's lives. I really admire you and your husband Efren as well. It's just awesome to be going through life together as such close friends. And can you just share with us to end our call? What's your final piece of advice to everyone watching?
When you feel like quitting, don't. Dig deep as to why you even got started. There is something there. I
Mhm.
don't know what it is. Maybe it's just health. Maybe you want to have certain breakthrough in your life.
Mhm.
I know that it's been giving me the breakthroughs, the extraordinary health, and that's what I was looking for. And my journey's not over. So I say just examine yourself and see what you can find out about yourself.
Oh, I love it. Hey, it's great advice. You were led to USANA for a reason, and stick to that reason to get through the hard times. We all have hard times. There's all ups and downs, just like we said at the beginning of the call. But Patti, thank you for being a great example. We love you. We're so grateful we had you on today. And we're going to unmute our live callers on Zoom, and everyone say thank you, Patti, and have an awesome day. I'm going to try and unmute everybody. Or can y'all unmute yourself?
Patti.
Yeah,
Have an awesome day.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Patti.
Bye.
Have an awesome day.
Have an awesome day. I love you, Patti, my BFF.
Yay. Love ya. Love you all.
All right. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye. Bye, Patti. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.